Hey guys, welcome back to Legit Car Stories. My name is Alex, and today I have a good one for you guys. I have kind of a hybrid story slash I actually have video footage of this. A couple months back, I almost traded my 99 C43 for Chance the Rapper's body double's broken AMG car. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and forth kind of narrating what's going on, but basically a subscriber had commented in one of my videos that he wanted to trade me an ML55, a 2000 ML55. I messaged him back and I wasn't super interested at this point, but he had told me that the ML55 had a blown engine, but I thought the body looked pretty good in the pictures. Whereas my C43 runs and drives really nicely, but the body is kind of beat up. So I don't do body work, but I can fix an engine, and an ML55 is a vehicle I've always wanted, and it would be a lot more useful to me. It could be like a daily driver. So I was really excited. He wanted to do like an even trade, and he said that the ML did run and drive and I could drive it home, which is like huge for me. I wouldn't have to pay for a tow. So let's just get right into this. This is right where I meet Chris, and we're gonna take him for a ride in the C43. Then I'm gonna fix the ML55 right there on the spot with parts from the C43. And then at the end, I'm gonna tell you why I never did this trade. Here is the ML, and we will get into this a lot more shortly. Right now, we're gonna meet Chris and show him the C43, make sure he is 100% down with this car, and then we're gonna be taking a look at this car. And here is the man himself, Chris.
Hello. How's it going,
what is
sir?
up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Not too bad.
You sure you want this thing?
Man.
You watched all the videos, you said,
Watched
right?
all the videos. Anything's better than this thing.
First start for Chris in the C43. This could be your future car.
Oh yeah, let's try this thing. Dude, this thing has a rumble. Oh my goodness.
It's a MagnaFlow muffler. Now, I was just telling Chris that on my way here, the shifter, I was having problems with the shifter a while back. I let my buddy borrow this car, long story, and he basically broke the shifter. So there's a pin in here that's missing, but go ahead and put your foot on the brake. I'll show you kind of how to do it. I mean, there's really nothing to it. You just have to know that this is super loose, that's all. And then to go into drive, we're just gonna, yeah, that's it. So now we're pulling up on a big street here. I know it's raining, but give her a little bit of love. Sounds pretty good, right?
Dude, this is nasty, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah.
All right, let's not get arrested here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, just got back from the ride with Chris. Chris, what do you think officially?
This thing is bananas, bro. I don't know how he's even willing to let me get this thing, man. This is
I mean, I might be saying the same thing to you, or you might be seeing it in the videos. You know my videos. I like to do things on the cheap, so you got to tell everybody out there you're not going to be pissed if I end up fixing this thing for super cheap.
Come on. This is, you could do way more than I could ever do. So many shops quoted me like 3-4K.
Yeah, if it needs a complete engine at a shop, that's realistic. I'm hoping it doesn't need a complete engine, but I'm just going to expect that it does. Yeah. So at this point, we got to check out the ML and make sure it's something that I want to get into. And first thing first, we have to pop the hood and check. Check out these bad hood shocks.
Oh yeah. Get this on there.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Does that come with it?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so at this point, Chris has driven the C43. I wanted him to drive the car. I wanted him to be 100% sure that he wanted to make this deal, and he knew exactly what he was getting into. He'd seen all the videos on the car, so he knew basically everything that was wrong with it, but I just wanted him to drive it for a while so that I can talk to him a little bit more, explain to him that this is a project car, even though it runs and drives really nicely. So he got all that. He wanted the car very, very badly. He wasn't going to do a full restoration on the C43, which honestly I don't think is very financially viable anyway. I don't think it's worth a complete restoration, but he seemed very eager to learn. He wanted to fix it up slowly. So I was totally cool with selling this type of person a car like this. You don't want to sell it to someone who doesn't know what's going on if you're trying to be morally responsible, at least. So at this point, the ball is in my court. It's up to me if I want this 2000 ML55 with 200,000 miles and a blown engine. At least that's what he said was wrong with it. So I wanted to check this out for myself. I wanted to make sure what was wrong with it, if it really needed an engine, if I could drive it to work and then home, because I didn't want to get a tow for it. So right now we are going to check out exactly what's wrong with this car. I'm going to throw a battery in it, and then I'm going to fix the ML55 on the spot with a part that I steal from the C43 just to get this thing running pretty nicely. And then we'll talk about why this deal never went down in the end. All right, C55 battery is in. For anyone wondering, the C55 and the ML55 apparently share the exact same battery. It fits perfectly, so I'm like kind of nervous here. So it's gonna smoke and it's gonna rattle and make a bunch of noise, right?
Yeah, man. Might blow up out here.
Too bad. Yeah, that is definitely oil though. The ML is running. It's not misfiring, it's running decent, but you guys saw the smoke that it blew out. Although a lot of these older Mercedes do blow out smoke after they've been sitting for a while, Chris says that it doesn't always totally clear up, which could indicate some piston ring issues or something along those lines. But let's listen to this engine. It's got a kind of a little knock going on. All right, guys, here you go. Engine knock. So let's see what happens when we rev it up. Ooh, that is pretty bad. Oh, check out the smoke. All right, so obviously this thing is blowing out a ton of oil. It sounds like crap. I'd have to agree with whatever shop you brought it to. It probably needs an engine. Yeah. And you said it was what, like 4 quarts low when you checked it?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, and right now we're like right at the minimum. So you guys have had this for 25,000 miles. It was your mom's, and she basically like didn't keep up on changing the oil. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's got 197,000 miles on it, so at that point you do have to be a little like on your oil changes. This thing is leaking practically everything, so. Well, let's do this. I brought some oil. We're gonna top it up. It's probably like 1.5 quart low, and then let's go drive it. I'm just kind of curious if that smoke will clear up at all, but I'm kind of doubtful. I think this motor has seen better days.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna start her up and go for a ride. It fires right up, which is good. It's not making a ton of smoke right now. But I have to leave for work in about an hour, so I don't mind the engine noise. It's not gonna like, well, hopefully it's not gonna totally die out from that, but we need to make sure that it at least runs decently, doesn't overheat, and that it shifts and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm gonna be putting like 100 miles on this car that has potentially a bad engine. We definitely have a check engine light on. The wipers work, that's nice. So it's shifting okay. So, no, wait, what was that? Kind of had a weird, well, now we got a flashing check engine light, check that out. So we got a really bad misfire. It just kind of like, yeah, now it's running real bad. All right, we gotta go scan this thing for codes. All right, guys, so we have misfire codes all over the place, current and stored, and it is running like crap. I'm gonna go find out how old the gas is. It's possible that's what it is. Usually if it's just one cylinder, it could be a coil or something like that, but it can also be the fact that the engine is low on compression. It is kind of smoking a little bit. Who knows at this point? I'm gonna mess around under the hood and see if we can figure this out, but this is not gonna make it about an hour to work. All right, I cleared out the codes. We took it for another drive. It started misfiring again, and now it is only showing a code for one cylinder that is misfiring. So we're gonna swap out the ignition coil and wires from this cylinder with a coil pack and wires from the C43 to see if that's all it is. This would be awesome, but it is basically not firing on this cylinder at all. It is a dead miss. So this is the easiest thing we can do, because if I can't get this to run well, I can't drive this car home at least today, and we'll have to work out a deal a little bit later. So let's hope that swapping the coil from the C43 does the trick. All right, we ripped this coil off of the C43 and it is installed right here. That's the beauty of these engines. They're all basically the same. Everything kind of swaps over. So we're gonna go for another test drive and hope that this fixes our misfire. Yeah, we'll see what happens. See if it starts up any better, or differently at least. Still got our possible rod knock. Ooh, a lot of smoke still too. But as long as it doesn't misfire, we might be all right. Let's see. So far so good. So far so good. It didn't run that good before. It could just be that coil pack. That's running pretty good now.
Dude, she's pulling. What the heck?
Where's like a big open road? Straight?
To the right.
Oh, to the right? Okay. This is why this thing's broken, man. You got a BMW head in here.
Oh, man.
Shut up, knocking noise. That's running pretty good. That's all it was, dude. That was a coil. Now I owe you a coil though if we make this deal because I just took it off of that car. I mean, honestly, we can go buy a coil right now. They're pretty cheap at the parts store. Okay, so the engine is bad. It is definitely a lower knocking noise. It's smoking like crazy, but it is not misfiring anymore. This thing actually runs really well. If you have a knocking engine, it's not necessarily going to be down on power right away. Eventually it's going to grenade, but it felt just like a normal ML55. This was definitely something I could have driven home, probably putzed around for a little while as well with it knocking, and then just get the motor later on or whatever. So at this point I could drive it home. I've determined that, and the pressure is on here because now he wants the car. So do I want the ML55? So like I said, I didn't really take a good look at this car because I was super excited and it was raining, which I should have done. My whole point for doing this trade was giving him the C43 that needed a bunch of body work but was mechanically sound for a car that didn't need any body work but needed some mechanical work. This is like way more up my alley to do an engine. So the deal wouldn't make sense if his car needed a bunch of cosmetic work as well, especially expensive stuff. So I end up going for another ride with him. We're about to do this deal, and I'm like, you know what, Alex? Take a step back. Let's take a closer look at the body of this ML. So this is what I find. I didn't have a ton of footage, but I took some pictures and I decided not to do the trade because of rust. This car had rust on practically every single panel. It was bubbling up at the bottom of the doors. It was on the hood. It was on the hatch. And now this wouldn't be a big deal for like a beater, but the whole point, the whole like advantage to doing this was to help him out by giving him a running and driving car and help me out by giving me a good looking car that I could fix up for pretty cheap in my garage, and that wasn't really going to be the case. So I decided to not make the deal. I think I broke Chris's heart. He really, really wanted this car, and that kind of sucks. I didn't want to disappoint him, and it was my fault for not immediately looking at the ML when I got there. So Chris, I know you're watching. I am sorry you didn't get the C43, but I will make it up to you one day, I promise. So at this point, he still has this ML55, so if you guys want it, I don't even know if it's for sale, but if it is, I will link it in the video description box. It needs an engine, it's got some rust, but it'd be a nice daily driver if you don't really care too much on how it looks. And also the C43 is still on eBay right now. It's like a week-long auction, so that's going to be gone as well. So maybe Chris would want to bid on that. I don't know, Chris, if you see this in time, but that's about it, guys. So I didn't get the ML55, but it was a lot of fun. I got to meet a really cool guy. He's Chance the Rapper's body double here in Chicago. So anything that you see that Chance the Rapper does in Chicago, where you don't need to see his face, like a music video or a movie or whatever, it's this guy. He's the body double. So very, very, very cool to have met him and hear kind of some of his stories of being in the movie making, music video type of industry. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of hybrid story time slash video. I meant for this to come out a few weeks ago because I thought I was actually going to do this trade, but obviously that didn't work out. So at this point, I don't have the ML55. I'm soon to not have the C43, but that's okay because we have some more projects coming to the channel as we speak. I am working out a deal with a car that is in Iowa that I'm going to get shipped here to Chicago. So very excited about that. It's going to be kind of like the ultimate daily driver Mercedes-Benz car, the best of every world for super cheap. It's going to be super reliable. I just cannot wait to show you guys what this is. So with that being said, I hope you really enjoyed kind of this hybrid story time video. And if you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. To all my current subscribers, thank you so much for all the support. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next video.